And we are back at the Pitchmark Collective. I feel like it's been decades since we've connected, Teddy and Justin. We got the President's Cup this week. Teddy, open this up. You know, your Hurricane Harry, is that the hurricane rolling through Florida right now?
No, I'll be honest. I don't even remember what this one's called.
Or is Hurricane Harry ode to one of our favorite listeners, Harry Johnson?
It's an ode to one of our longtime listeners, Harry Johnson, and also I just love alliteration, so
sure,
that's kind of where that comes from. But yeah, we got a storm coming through the Gulf, going through the Panhandle.
But you don't even know about it because it's like every other week there's a storm coming through.
I didn't know about it until yesterday. They sent an email out and was like, hey, if you guys want, like, you're probably just going to want to work from home Thursday, Friday. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, well, because the storm. I'm like, what storm? What are you guys talking about? And then I literally just opened, like, Safari, my web browser, and it just popped up. Like,
so one of my really good friends lived in Oregon. We'd go skiing a ton together, hang out a bunch. Then all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to Florida. So he lives down in West Palm now. And I remember talking to him after like the first couple of years that he was there. And I was like, dude, you've been through your first hurricane. Like, how crazy is it? He's like, this is such bullshit. All it is an excuse to party in a hotel. Like,
yeah, kind of.
All of us freak out about a hurricane happening. And all you do is find a hotel and everyone brings alcohol and you just drink for an entire week.
Like, I would say for the majority, that's maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. But I drove down in the Florida Keys. I think it was after, was it Irma or something?
Like a big one, not just like the destruction.
Yeah. That being said, I wouldn't know there was a hurricane coming if I didn't know people that were in Florida. You know, like, I'm not.
So you're welcome for spreading awareness on this upcoming
storm. Hurricane Harry awareness.
Yeah, it's Harry. He's helping everyone.
What's the name of the hurricane, Teddy? I think you said it, but I missed it.
No, I don't know what the name of it is.
Hurricane Agatha.
Helen.
Oh, damn! You missed it. What the?
Could you imagine Hurricane Helen Hunt? And you completely just dropped the ball on it, Teddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to back out. And,
all right. Teddy's off the pod. He's gone. He's out of the company. Say your goodbyes, chat.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So we're talking about the President's Cup up there in Canada. Starts tomorrow. We got Jim Furyk versus the old lefty, Mike Weir. How are we feeling about the President's Cup as a whole? Justin, let's hear from you first, huh?
I don't know, man. Like I'm so President's Cup, like until I watch it, I'm sure like I'm just kind of like meh. You know, it's like, oh cool. I look forward to the Ryder Cup. Ryder Cup was awesome. I watched every day. This, I'm sure once it gets on, I'll feel it. But like coming into it feels like second fiddle to Ryder Cup, which it is, obviously. Like I just wish there was more differences between the two. You know what I mean? Like I wish there was like change and it wasn't just like, and I know it wasn't started to actually copy it. But like I wish there was a little bit more deviation between what we do at the Ryder Cup, even though it's obviously Europe versus the internationals and stuff like that. So I don't know. It'll be fun to watch and I'm sure I'll get into it. But for right now, it's kind of just another thing that's going on. What about you, Teddy? You looking forward to this? Is this like, are you going to watch golf now?
What's funny is I watched 2 weeks ago the Irish Open.
He's not going to have power to watch golf. There's a hurricane coming.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You'll listen to XM Radio.
Yeah, well, I'm a big XM Radio fan. I don't mind the President's Cup. I think it usually just depends on like where they're playing at.
Mm-hmm.
This course doesn't really do much to excite me. I mean, there's a few holes out there that have very tiny greens. But I mean, I don't think there's going to be like anything that crazy. Looking at the yardages, like I don't think these guys are really going to struggle that much.
It is 7,400 yards.
Yeah, I don't think that's that big of a deal.
I really
don't.
I agree.
I think there's probably going to be some exciting moments, but ultimately, I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
There's probably two people on the American team where that distance is really going to matter. It's Brian Harmon and Russell Henley. I think everyone else is like, yeah, I hit it 325. Like 7,400 just doesn't matter.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be more exciting than the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
You think?
So yeah,
I would say that.
it'll be the first, somewhat exciting tournament in a while. Although last weekend and the Irish Open were pretty good, but yeah, I mean, I might flip over from one of the football games and maybe have it on the screen. But
What about
that's
you,
about
Cam? Are you going out and buying a new white hat of the USA team when they win? Is this like your
Yeah, to
jam?
add to my white hat collection, probably not.
Yeah.
I do typically look forward to like especially on the Ryder Cup, like the red, white, and blue like release of like what their outfits are going to look like, their shirts.
Yeah.
Last year's kind of sucked if you ask me.
Better than
but I
what they
like
did for the Olympics.
I kind of like the President's Cup, kind of like more subtle, when it comes to the like outfits each team wears. Like it's not like the big bright, which
Yeah,
I
it's
get
not
for the
crazy.
Ryder Cup. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Overall, I'll probably watch a little bit, especially Thursday, Friday. When I'm trying to do some work, always have golf on in the background. It's just not really all that competitive. Whereas the Ryder Cup, it's actually competitive for the most part, right? It can go either way.
Depends on who's hosting, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. The international team actually looks good. Like, I think the international team could do some damage. Obviously, they lost quite a few international players to live, but international team could actually play pretty well. Now, they don't look like, I think they're going to have like their moments of glory. Because on paper, it's like, oh yeah, they're going to get smoked by Scotty and Xander, etc. But I
A
think
big
they
hole of glory.
yeah. So
I
as
think
we're
there's
like,
like three people you worry about on the international team. If you
I just want to say, when they first announced the teams and we did like our initial reactions, you guys were like, "Oh, they're going to get boat race," and I was like, "The international team is actually decent." I didn't know what you guys were talking about, so I just want to let that be known that
that is true. I remember that conversation. I mean, there are some people that like. It was interesting to watch it's interesting to see how Mike Weir actually picked his team because, like, Jim Furyk literally went down basically the world ranking order and just picked his guys. Whereas, like, there's a lot of people that got skipped on the international team to get picked. Like Adam Hadwin, Nick Taylor, obviously Canadian, they didn't get picked. But then you've got like Bezaden Hout and Taylor Pendrith, who are a little bit farther down. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see all that.
I think it will be closer than we initially think. I forgot I'm working from home the next 2 days, so I actually might have it on.
You might pull a Cam.
I might pull a Cam and have it on while I'm working.
So here's one thing that I was thinking about. Like I was going on a walk the other day and I was like, how I played in a 2-man scramble on Sunday and it was our season finale with Northwest Golf guys. So fun thing to do. But like my partner and I were talking about it. It's like, do not get a scramble swing. Like, do not get into that mindset. Because if you talk to, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to probably speak out a little bit on this, but like you talk to most good golfers, they're like, I do not want to play in a 4-man scramble. Like it's fun, but you lose your swing for a little bit. You start swinging out of your ass because like you want to hit the drive farther and stuff like that. Do you think they take it that way too, where they're like, you know what? Like, let's just roll it. Who cares? Because I've got another, top player in the world that's got my back.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about that.
Yeah, I think like, especially, I think these guys are just so good. Like other things that are happening don't really affect them. So I think even though they're playing these different sort of style of matches and everything, like I don't think they're just trying to hit it that much harder, try to hit it that much closer. Like I think they're still pretty much playing their own game for the most part. Whereas
Yeah.
with scrambles, like especially like a better player, we already got one in the fairway. Let me just try to crank one out there and see if we can get that much closer.
Yep.
So for day one 4-ball, that is just essentially best ball between the two teams, right? Everyone plays their own ball. Like Teddy said, these guys are so good. They're like, they know, like if Xander hits his drive right down the middle and then puts his approach to like 10 feet, like that takes pressure off whoever he's playing with, his partner.
Yeah.
Because like, all right, like we're in close. Xander's a great putter, whatever, great player. He's gonna make that birdie putt, give us a good look. Maybe this guy tries to get a little aggressive, maybe doesn't. But when you're on like alternate shot and all that stuff, like these guys are so good at just like ignoring what just happened and just trying to get the best result on that next shot. I don't think it's like a mental game like it is, for a lesser player. Especially in like, we'll call it an exhibition. I mean, it's kind of what it is.
Yeah. And they are playing, it looks like on Thursday and Saturday, it's 2-man teams for 4-ball, with obviously best ball. That'll be kind of interesting. And on Friday afternoon, they go to alternate shot, which I mean, I actually really enjoy 4-ball, best ball. It's one of my favorite like team events to play. Have you guys ever played in a best ball tournament or kind of gone that direction?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the main thing is like what these guys are so good at is like playing their own game. But just trying to ham and egg it as well as possible, which for the best players in the world, I think they're pretty good at doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you guys ever played in an alternate shot event?
Yes. And it's awful.
It is so incredibly difficult.
Because you're hitting from spots you've never been in before and yardages you're not used to. And it's like, yeah, it's awful. There's one in Ocala that we've played in, and it's 27 holes, and you rotate. You do best ball, alternate shot, and then Chamberlain or something.
Shamble.
No, it's called something else, but you basically, it's like a mix between alternate shot and best ball. And like it was just awful. But the alternate shot is like, I mean, if you can try to stay around even, great. But there's always like one or two groups that just shoot 6 under or 7 under or something. It's like, how? I don't know how you guys can do that.
That alternate shot's 4-man or 2-man? Two, right. Yeah. I've never played in one personally, but I mean, that's probably the more entertaining, if you ask me, of what I would like to watch in a match play tournament. I mean,
yeah,
I want to see
that point.
I think of it from my perspective. Like if Teddy and I were paired together in an alternate shot tournament, I would put Teddy in such horrible positions. I'd be like, this is actually kind of fun for me because he's having a bad time. And then, vice versa, Teddy will hit a good shot. And then I got to hit a 170-yard approach shot. And it's like, dude, I don't know where this is going. No, that's not the case for the pros, right? But I think overall it's the more entertaining.
I'd give Cam like a flip wedge into a par 4, and the next thing you know, I'm having to hit it out of the bunker.
You're chipping it from 30 yards behind the green because I bladed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I will say, my wedge game from like 128 is probably the best it's ever been right now, and probably the best part about my game at this current point. So
okay,
I'll take flip wedges all day.
I've only played alternate.
After I have to punch us out of the woods, that would be great.
Yeah, and I can get us within about 15 feet for par. You'll make it.
Okay, well,
sounds like a game plan to me.
Generous.
The only way I've played alternate is just 6-6-6, which I think like a lot of men's groups end up doing that, where you do 6-hole of 2-man scramble, 6-hole of best ball, and then 6-hole of alternate shot. And so my buddy Joey and I, who we actually played in that tournament on Sunday together, we did this last year at our course, and it was awesome for the 2-man scramble because they put us on the white tees. Which was absolutely hilarious. It was like, sweet, we get to like just go for a bunch of greens with drivers. And then we got to best ball, which was fine. And alternate shot, we went so far downhill so quick. It was like, I don't know where the extra pressure comes from or how you start playing so different than what you were
Mhm.
doing before. Because at one point we were like 3 under. We're like, oh, we're actually playing good going in alternate shot. We ended up like 5 over or some stupid shit like that. We were
Yeah,
like,
well, like you don't want to mess up for your
yeah,
partner and like you feel bad. Like you just have to try to not think about it and just try to hit good shots. But yeah,
Kind of going through my head, just like if it were me, I feel like I would just be so nervous over like anything longer than 15 feet on the green. I'd be like, I'm
yeah.
gonna fucking blast this by, and then we're
Well,
gonna recut
see,
because
I'm the
I'm gonna set
opposite.
up.
Anything inside 5 feet, I would be like,
yeah.
oh man, I gotta
I,
make this.
I think that's the
Otherwise,
thing because
yeah.
you know, like if roles were reversed, you're thinking like, yeah, this dude better make it. And so it's just that added pressure.
And putting is like a weird thing because it's so feel, right? So if you don't hit the first putt, you're like, I don't know what's going on with this green. Like,
Mhm.
so you just go up there and do the same thing you normally would, and then you don't get to hit the next putt, hopefully.
Yeah, I
It's
do
strange.
like to that, like, especially probably an alternate shot. They're talking to each other more of like what they like, not just their caddies, but Xander's going to get whoever his partner is input. I mean, do you put
Yeah.
Xander and Scotty in, just make a powerhouse group, or do you split them up? On an alternate shot. I think Teddy, you said you'd split them up, right? You'd put
Yeah, you got to split them up.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smartest move. But I mean, if you got
Well, don't
Xander
you have
talking
you have to
to,
you have to pair them in a few different ways too. It's not just like personality. You also think about the ball that they're playing.
The ball that they're playing and just their games, right? Like you want to try to get people that have similar games.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, you could go both ways, right? Do you want people that
Or
are
opposites or
complementary?
yeah.
Yeah, or I think it. And for me, I would rather play with somebody that has a similar game to me. At least that way, like yardages aren't too crazy. We like to see the same sort of shot and hit the same sort of shot. So like it's a better flow as opposed to like if you were to put Finau and Brian Harman together or something. Like Brian Harman is going to put Tony in some like weird areas that he's not used to, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well-
Tony's going to get Brian 50 yards closer on some approach shots if they're paired together.
Well, I mean,
shot.
in
Which that could
theory,
actually be legit.
well, like
Brian
in theory,
Harmon's got
right?
good
You
iron
think,
game.
yeah, but you think like, okay, Tony's gonna hit it 350 and hit it right down the middle. Brian's good with wedges, but like it doesn't always go that way, right? So like you got somebody that hits it further but misses it way further offline than the other guy. He hasn't had to hit these crazy punch cuts like Tony's used to. So like you're putting your partner at disadvantages when you guys are out of the hole. But I mean, for me personally, that's what I would want.
Yeah, but the ball thing is interesting because you got Scotty, who's I think he's a left dash guy. You've got Xander, who's a Chrome Tour, the only Callaway. Isn't he the only Callaway guy?
I mean, I think
And
I
probably.
don't think the ball's going to make that much of a difference, right?
For
Well,
these
I think
guys, 100% it makes a difference.
does, but most of them grew up playing like a Pro V or something similar. So I mean, like, I think they're okay. Like, yeah, you just got to revert back to your yardages from 4 years ago or whatever. So I mean, looking at the team, I don't think there's going to be anything too crazy, but like, yeah, I mean, it does make a difference when you got half the guys are Bridgestone, TaylorMade, and Callaway, and then the other half are Titleist.
Well,
But I think
yeah, but
they all would defer to the guy playing the title, whatever Titleist ball they're used to.
But I mean, if you look at it like Homa, Titleist, I think he's a Pro V1X. Then you've got Patrick Cantlay, who's a Pro V. You got Sahith, who's a Pro V. Keegan, who's Strixon. Sam Burns plays Callaway. Tony Finau, I have no idea what ball he actually plays. I've never even looked into that.
He's Titleist. I think he's definitely in Titleist.
Yeah, but it's
in the
interesting when
commercial.
you like think of those. And for whatever reason, Scotty Scheffler at one point, I looked that up and I was like, wait, you play a left dash? That just seems like such a weird ball for him to play. But I
So
thought it was
an
kinda-
alternate shot, is it whatever ball is teed up with has to be played, or you have to play the same model throughout the entirety of it?
whatever's teed up.
So
Yeah,
like,
just
so
that
like, if I play a Pro V1X and Teddy plays Pro V1, if it's my tee to tee off first, we play the X through that hole, and then when Teddy tees off, it would be the Pro V1.
You can flip flop, but you're better off just using one.
Just
ball.
committing, right? Yeah, just committing throughout the
Yeah.
entire round. Okay.
Oh, and Tony plays. Yeah, you're right. The title's Pro V1, but he plays the left dot, which I
Okay,
just learned about this ball. Isn't it a more spinny ball?
compared to the left dash, yes.
The left dash is like 0 spin ball. It's supposed to be a rock that doesn't spin. That's one of the reasons why I actually started playing it.
It's best ball.
I actually was hitting the left dash at.
I was gonna say, aren't all three of us playing left dash?
Oh, really?
I like left dash. Typically I go left dash or Pro V1X, AVX or left dash. I'm like, whatever. They feel like the same ball. I don't know. I'm not good enough.
Slashing bomb, Nike Mojo.
Yeah, Nitro.
Max Fly
it
Tour?
doesn't matter.
I got in a conversation with someone the other day, and he was telling me that his Max Fly Tours are rated just as high as Pro V1s because of My Golf Spy.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's one of those things like you convince yourself, like, oh, I'm saving this money, but like it really is a good ball, but like, is it as good? Like, come on.
Cue up the Thor meme. Is it really?
Is it just say?
I mean, so I might actually
somebody
play,
at Lotto play the Brokey song.
I might actually play Vice Balls next year.
Were you gonna get
I've
the paint splatter ones? I actually don't mind like those kind of designs. I wouldn't play it, but it is.
I played the Pro Plus, and I thought it was great. My problem is spinning, so I always go back and forth. I could only play the older Pro V1Xs. Regular Pro V1s, I will just rip off greens. It drives me absolutely nuts. And I know that there's some way for me to figure it out and stop spinning the ball so hard, but I just haven't been able to, and it sucks. So I have to avoid Pro V1s at all costs. TP5s are the same thing. TP5Xs I really, really like.
I like the
but
X's as well.
It's a good ball.
Honestly, the Srixon Z-Star XV, I think is what it is.
Mhm.
That's been one of the most consistent balls for me to stop spinning the ball back. Like,
have you tried like the top flight, like XL 2000 or anything?
yeah, I should.
Have
you heard of Noodle?
Actually, that's a softball. What's the oh God, what's the money? Who makes the money? Is it Slazenger? Have you guys seen those, the money balls?
Mm-mm.
They sell them at like Dick's and stuff for like, it's like a 18 pack for like $15. And it's just like a big box that's made to look like dollar bills, essentially. But that ball is hard as a rock. You could try that.
Ultra low 65 compression. Discontinued.
That's the money ball or the bomb?
It says Slazenger money ball.
No, okay, it is Slazenger. 65 compression?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I hit him with a quick Google here, though. So
maybe it's like a 2-piece.
So I'm like geeking out on this right now. Sorry, I'm looking at Titleist's website, and left dash is high flight, low spin, and the left dot, which is not available anymore. And so it doesn't give much, except it's saying penetrating trajectory,
low flight,
long game with lower spin. So it's like a low, which I need that. That's the ball I need in my life.
Well, you could still get them.
Go to eBay and check recently sold for a box of left dot.
Yeah, the only reason I bought the left dash one, I found him on like there was this guy on Facebook who's like, hey, I've got like 7 dozen of these, $45 each, and I was like, cool, send me 2 so I can try these out.
I mean, you can get left dash at PGA Superstore in like Dick's, I think.
Yeah, but they're like $55, $60 or something.
It's the same price.
$10. Got it.
Right.
But the left dot, like, if you go on the Boneyard on Facebook, Teddy, you're there. Like, people, when they get those, they sell them for like literally $300 a dozen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What? It's something I'm gonna lose.
Yeah.
Or like or literally destroy because I hit a cart path and then my $300 investment's down the drain, which was hilarious on Sunday.
You can't hide money, Justin. You know what I'm saying?
On Sunday we're playing in that scramble and we yell at one of the guys. We're like, "Hey, grab that ball!" And my buddy had just taken a new vice out of his bag to tee up, and he throws it over and like throws it pretty hard. It's like 30, 40 feet away, and just sails us, lands straight on a cart path, and he picks it up and he's like, "What the hell, dude?" So funny. I was like, "That really sucks."
That's why I don't bother making like any special marks on mine. It's like you're not going to be around
Yeah.
long enough for
Not gonna be
me
able
to
to find it.
do this.
All right, so we've got Jim Furyk with the President's Cup. We'll get off the golf ball conversation, which is actually kind of interesting. Maybe we should talk about like
We'll
more about
revisit.
golf balls and equipment between the three of us, because there's like three vastly different skill levels here. Well, vastly
Yeah,
probably sounds,
great,
but
not so great, not so great.
I'm horrible. So
My game is in shambles right now.
So Jim Furyk is obviously the captain this year. Are we a fan of Jim Furyk?
Yeah,
He's an old timer name in game of golf right now.
Big fan.
What, he shot 59. He's a major champion winner. He's got a lot of
On the
wins.
task force, right?
He's
The
on the whatever
Ryder
task
Cup
force.
task force.
Jacksonville local.
I think,
He's in
I think
St. Augustine.
his unique swing's cool. It's going to live on for a long time. I like Jim Furyk. I'm sure he's going to be a good captain.
Do we think he's like the old guard of the Ryder Cup and kind of how they pick, where they just kind of go down and they pick the good old boys, kind of like Zach Johnson? I think he was part of the old guard too, just because he's kind of been around. And Zach got some heat in the Ryder Cup.
Well, that's because he was an idiot and whatnot. And more people care about the Ryder Cup now than they did even the last time Jim Furyk was captain, I think 2018. You know, because the Americans lost 2018.
Valid. Yeah.
He had a good team. I mean, back then, I'll say, right? The only questionable one I would say is Webb Simpson, but I think he was
good.
He was at points. He auto qualified.
Yeah, back there he was actually a solid stick. So okay, so I mean, Jim Furyk's doing a little bit different things. I mean, he's got some picks on here, like his captain's picks. I think are kind of interesting because, I mean, you've got your just normal. You've got Scotty, Xander, Colin, Wyndham, Patrick Cantlay, Sahith, right? They're like you're in. I can agree with the Keegan pick. I like Keegan Bradley. I think he's a dog when it comes to things. I think like he's got some of that in him. Sam Burns, I can see it. Tony, I can see it. I'm not sure on the Russell Henley and Max Homa over anyone. And then I think about like you could have had Billy Horschel in this, who's been playing some pretty good golf, especially last weekend.
Shout out to Billy for a nice win at the BMW PGA Championship.
Yeah.
Go Gators.
But then you also snub out Justin Thomas. Now, not playing the best golf, but we also know he is the best locker room person.
Well, that and he's got a great Ryder Cup and President's Cup match.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to imagine like maybe he's like, I don't want to play in this one. He's got a kid coming. I don't know when they're doing anything, but maybe he, when conversations happen there. I didn't really see anything, publicly, and I also didn't look, but where he was saying, bummed not to be chosen. Yeah,
I mean, I saw a few things where he was saying he's bummed not to be part of it and stuff like that. I mean, we're kind of talking about the Smiley Show. I listened to that, and he mentioned a few things about like I was kind of like oh shoot, I need to do something now because this really sucks that I finally didn't get picked because of like my team ability. But I mean, Furyk's gonna take some fire if all of a sudden Max Homa, who I am a huge Max Homa fan. I like the guy. I think he's hilarious. I like his game too. But the last few weeks, especially, didn't make the Tour Championship, didn't go to the Pro Tour. and was playing like absolute trash the last 3 events that you saw him at.
I'd have to say he's probably also a big locker room guy, which plays a role. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people like Max, and I think, I mean, even the last Ryder Cup where the Americans just played like dog crap, him and
Him and Harmon went to
were
town.
like the shining light for
Yeah.
that weekend.
Yeah.
So I got to imagine that plays into it, as well as just overall trust. You know, like these guys can
Been there before.
one day just turn it around, and then we'll see. But no matter who the captain is, they're going to make bad picks. Like not every pick's going to be a hit, you know. And
Yeah.
and I just looking even at day one pairings, I just like I don't see any of these matches like a big concern.
So this is interesting. Let's go through the picks and we'll go Cam and Teddy. You guys pick who, like, let's see if they all match up of who would actually win. So we got Tony and Xander versus Ben On and Jason Day. Who you taking?
Tony and Xander.
I'll take the internationals.
I think there's a chance for that to happen. So you've got Colin and Sahith versus Minwoo Lee and Adam Scott.
This was one where I was slightly like, all right, maybe the internationals. But I'm gonna go with Colin and see. I honestly think the USA clean sweeps them Thursday.
I'm taking the internationals in match 2 as well.
Okay.
He's so lame. Just move to Canada at this point. Get away from the Hurricanes. Become Canadian.
All right. So then this is the funniest pick to me, or the pairings. It's Russell Henley, who I would just say is probably the lowest man on that totem pole, and then they pair him with Scotty Scheffler, who is obviously the highest man on the totem pole. And
They
then
have
you
similar
got
games.
they
I
do
can
to
see
some
it.
extent. You're right. But then they've got Sunjay M and Tom Kim. Who you taking? Cam?
I
You
like
take-
this matchup. I think the dynamic maybe between Scotty versing off Tom, his good friend. You know, they're both out of Dallas. They're really
that's
good. I think
another
that could be-
dynamic to think about.
that could
Yeah.
be very entertaining for this match. But it's Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he could beat both of them on his own, maybe. I don't know.
Ooh.
I think it's gonna be close, but I'm going with the USA. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Okay.
This is America, not Canada, Teddy.
Okay. Okay.
In this case, it's not Korea. These guys are both Korean. So.
Florida is its own country, I've heard. So you're
No.
good to do with whatever you want there, Harry.
I don't think this one's actually going to be very close. I'm going to say the Americans win this one.
Okay. So then we've got Keegan Bradley, Wyndham Clark, which you could, I mean, Wyndham was making a very good surge at the end of the season, right? Like beginning of the season, won a few tournaments, got his way into the FedEx Cup. And then you got to the middle of the season where you're like, this guy is playing like dog shit. Keegan Bradley, who obviously end of the season was playing good, but then it's against Bezuidenhout and Pendrith. Who you taking, Cam?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Keegan and Wyndham could just not play well at any given time. Like they're a little more sporadic in their play. But like you said, Wyndham kind of turned it up at the end. Keegan's pretty good at match play. Didn't Taylor Pendrith win this year? What did he win?
Yep. He won was it like the 3M or something like that? Remember when Eric Cole was coming down and flubbed that chip? And yeah.
I think this is going to be close, but I'm going with the Americans.
Okay. Teddy?
This one's kind of tough. Wyndham's there with his wife or girlfriend who's like a dime.
She's a 10, bro. 10.
He might be distracted. I'm gonna go. I'll go Americans for this one as well. So all even on my board through the first 4 matches.
I'm going with you on this, Teddy. I mean, I think the Americans are just gonna destroy this international match. So match 5, we've got Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, which that seems weird. It also seems weird to actually break up Scotty and Sam Burns. Jim Furyk was on the Golf Channel today talking about that, like how he was actually breaking up Xander and Patrick and Scotty and Sam, because like those 4 guys are like best friends. And then you've got Corey Connors and Hideki.
This was one where I was looking at the name Hideki, and I'm like, he could just, he's a good player. Corey Connors in his own right's good. He's going to be on home turf, right?
I was going to say, you better watch your mouth.
I'm sorry. This is
People are going to be
Connors.
throwing poutine at you, Cam.
This is the match I was most worried about on day one. With that being said, I'm going to go that the International do win this match.
I disagree. I think the Americans are actually going to win this one. So it's going to end the day 3-2 Americans. I think it will be. I can either see it being a good match and close, or Hideki and Corey just don't get anything going, and one of them, either Sam Burns or Patrick Cantlay, one of them just gets hot and just goes low, and essentially wins the match all by themselves.
Really, I was thinking the other way around for that, Teddy.
Hideki just, when I expect him to play really well, he doesn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with that thinking. Because I agree, I think he should play well, but because I think that, he is not.
He's
going
not
to
going
play
to. It's kind of like
well, he's also had enough time for his back to recover, right? Like that's always been his downfall this entire season. It was, okay, so Hideki's back in a hold up. Is he going to stay in the tournament? I mean, he hasn't played in a tournament in a while, so he's been able to go in there and get that work. Here's the one question: does Patrick Cantlay wear a hat?
No.
Yeah, I think he wears it for the first 2 days, and then the weekend, the lid's coming off.
Ooh, all right, got it. So no from Teddy, and first 2 days for Cam. It'll be interesting to watch. So
I need to point something out here. Going back to our ball discussion. I'm sorry. It's really throwing me for a loop. So if you go to the presidentscup.com website, you go to score and you see the pairings, it tells you who uses a Titleist ball.
Yes.
Tony Finau, Sahith, Russell Henley, but does not have Titleist next to Scotty Scheffler's name. Wyndham Clark uses Titleist. Patrick Cantlay uses Titleist.
Really?
So I'm curious to know why, because I thought we were all under the impression that Scotty at least uses Titleist. Because it has, for the international team, it has Ben On, Adam Scott, Sungjae, Tom Kim, and Corey Connors, all Titleist players.
So Scotty Scheffler, as of the Olympics, I mean, we know he's a TaylorMade guy, but then you get into wedges. He's got the Vokies. And then let's see. Yeah, it's Titleist Pro V1 in this one for his ball. And then let's go back into March of 2024. All the same clubs. And then you get to,
We're
Pro
gonna
V1.
need somebody to add
That's
the President's Cup.
Or Scotty Scheffler.
You know what's interesting?
I gotta
anyone
connect. Let me see if we can get Scotty on the pod to clarify.
Did anyone notice that Scotty plays a Srixon 3 and 4 driving iron?
You didn't know that?
No, it's kind of strange to me.
It never really stood out.
Anyways,
Yeah.
All
right.
I'm gonna need somebody to fix that on the President's Cup website. So if you could just let them know for us.
Or did contract end with title? Or did contract end with Titleist, and this is the first public side of him actually switching golf balls?
Is this breaking news?
You heard it here, folks. Pitchmark Collective is releasing the newest rumor on the PGA Tour. And it's all because of Cam's detective work.
This is going viral. It was just curious because I was looking at the pairings on their website and I noticed that and I said, "This isn't correct. What is going on here?" So we're gonna get Scooby and the gang on that mystery to get unsolved, and we'll let you know on what ball Scotty is indeed using. I I just see I look at the pairings for day one, and I'm like, it just seems like the international team is outmatched in every single one. I don't know.
Buddy, I got them going 3-2.
Yeah, we heard you, Canadian. We get it.
Yeah.
We understand, Teddy.
All right, so that'll be. I mean, it'll be a little interesting to see what happens with it. I mean, I think there's some good pairings. When does like the afternoon match? When does that get released?
I mean, is it after? Is there even an afternoon match? With
Oh, I guess
the-
that's a
with the
great
5
question.
matches?
Is there an afternoon match for President's Cup? There
Because
has to
they
be,
tee
right?
off. They tee off at 11:35. So I gotta imagine there's not afternoon on Thursday.
I don't think so.
Valid. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens on Friday of who they actually, because there's obviously quite a few players that aren't playing on Thursday that I want to see on Friday. And there's going to be some shitty weather tomorrow. I mean, they're already talking about wind and rain and everything. So
Bring it
kind of
on,
interested
dude.
to see what happens.
Bring it on.
So,
Maybe I'll add some character to the President's Cup and just another twist, you know?
for sure.
Teddy's going to play golf in a hurricane this weekend, so we don't want to hear it.
I did ask some local buddies if there were any courses that we thought might be open on Friday. Since I'll be working from home.
I will also be working from home, but not working from home.
But not working from home.
But we're
All
not
right.
going through a hurricane.
Yeah. That's funny. All right. Well, I think President's Cup will be fun. I'll probably get more into it. Probably talking about it right now. I've probably talked myself into watching more than I was planning on before. I think it'll actually be. I think it'll be a good event, and I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards Teddy's way, which I really hate to say this and say that I'm actually on the side of TL2 because that's a bad combination for everyone. But I think the International could create some sparks in this. And could you imagine what would happen if International comes and wins with with this team and knocks off Scotty, Xander, Wyndham? I mean,
I didn't say that. Let's not get too carried away.
I'm just saying, like we go down that road.
I think after day
we
one,
can't have that happen because all the live blowhards will just. Oh my! I couldn't even imagine that, dude.
Yeah, but they can compete now, didn't they? They said,
yeah,
there's an avenue
for the Ryder
Cup players for the Ryder Cup. I mean, the President's Cup's just doing itself a disservice if it doesn't follow suit.
Yeah, of course, I agree. I mean, there's two people everyone wants to see on the next Ryder Cup, and that's Bryson and Brooks.
You know what I want to see for the next?
I mean, Jon Rahm for the Europeans. I was speaking more towards the U.S.
and Taylor Gooch.
Yeah, the best iron player in the world. How could I forget that? Anthony Kim,
best wild card out there.
If he walked out at Bethpage Black with his big old belt buckle, just disfigured face and just somebody.
Yeah. And his untied shoes.
Oh gosh.
Pandemonium. The amount of cocaine done in New York that weekend would just be.
He's off the.
Yeah, but people would be doing it in honor of Anthony Kim.
Sure, but you could say that you can say that about any city.
Yeah. All right, so
you can say that about Jacksonville tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah, because you live there, right, Ted?
So
because there's a hurricane party.
One thing I mentioned in like our pre-call, and we were kind of talking about like, what changes?
How Cam is a bozo because he used the old logo.
Yeah, he called us the Great Bogey Podcast again, and TL2.
Okay, all right.
So what if you could change the format of this to make it actually cool? like so that we would look forward to it. And I'm taking this totally from no laying up. I'm totally ripping them off on this, but they said something that I was like, this is magic. I want this to happen more than anything. And it was take 8 PGA Tour players and 8 LPGA Tour players and pair them up and have matches. I think that is awesome. I would love to see it. I mean, I got the girl dad thing going, so obviously I follow the LPGA a little bit more than most, but I think that would just be cool to see something different, and it would probably change it enough that it's not so close to the Ryder Cup yet so far away.
Would you
I mean,
do
do you
then
think-
just the top women, points wise on the LPGA, or would it be captain's picks?
I think you'd probably have to end up at that point, go like 4 and 4, right? Like
So top four,
or like six and
6 and 2,
maybe.
something like that. Yeah.
because you would be adjusting the men to at that point. Would it just be
Yeah.
6 and 2, or just top eight?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have to figure those out, but I mean, let's say we're getting the best men and the best women together and they're playing a team event. I mean, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
It'd
Same
probably be
tees.
Or
Let's
even
settle the debate once and for all. Which gender is the best golfer?
I mean, are you telling me it wouldn't be fun to watch like Scotty and Nelly get paired together?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah. I would rather see.
What about that is not?
Okay, yeah, Scotty and Nelly would be cool. Who else? Lydia Ko, is she American?
Yeah.
Okay. Lexi retired.
Yeah, but
I
Lexi
mean-
would have been in this. I mean, she probably comes back if, things change with it, but yeah, you're right.
I think I'd rather see top pros and top amateurs together.
That's a valid choice. That would actually be kind of cool.
You throw like Gordon Sargent, Luke Clanton, those types of guys. I mean, they're not
Paige
going to be
Spiranek.
amateur. Yeah, I mean, that's not what I was going towards, but I was saying men.
I mean, that's what's coming next, right? A YouTube,
YouTube,
whatever you want to call it.
I mean, I was gonna say Creator Cup, but didn't they already use that? So
Yeah, I think they already.
yeah.
That's
Now it's
gone.
yeah.
Let me tell you what I don't want to watch. It's that.
It's that. I don't know. I think the LPGA sounds cool, and then also like I think the amateur thing could be super fun.
I don't want. Well, amateur in
So-
like what way? You're talking
Amateur,
about
just
like
amateur status,
like college players, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be kind
So
of a cool
Lydia
training ground as
Ko's
well.
from South Korea, and I think she technically represents New Zealand at this point in her career, so she's not American. I was thinking of Rose Zhang. She's
Oh,
American.
U.S. She played for the Solheim Cup.
So, the ladies, it sounds like a good idea. I just don't know if it would have the effect that people would want it to.
Well, do you think you're losing viewers or gaining viewers if you were to do something like that? Like if you're watching the President's Cup, you're probably watching that too.
Personally, I wouldn't be more inclined to watch it.
Mhm.
I'd still watch it, right? I wouldn't be like, "Oh, dude, this is sick." But to the average golf viewer, I mean, is it really making that much of a difference? I don't think it would.
I would disagree. I think it would. I think just for the entertainment factor of it, you're bringing in 2 different demographics of people. I mean, a lot of people that watch the LPGA. I'm looking at the stands at the Solheim Cup, and I'm not seeing a lot of those same people at like the stands at the Ryder Cup. So if President's Cup was like the melting ground for it, I think you've got something that becomes more entertaining. I mean, you've also got the thought with kind of bringing that up is like, I mean, we're going through kind of a dip in golf viewership right now, and obviously Live has destroyed this to the point where like a lot of us don't even watch professional golf because tired of watching PGA not have the same guys as Live. And I mean, I think Live only had like 70,000 viewers for their team championship BS that happened last week.
That
And then-
be careful.
Shout
That
out-
could be slanderous.
Shout out to Cam Smith.
But then you've got like I heard the tour championship was only at like 150,000 viewers or something like that. So
Yeah, the tour championship's always just not met
Yeah.
expectations viewership wise. Because
but all
first
year,
of all, why watch something where you give the best golfer in the world a 10-stroke lead over half the field?
it's true. But I mean, the viewership all year had been kind of down, and I think we have lost a lot of people who are just like, I am tired of hearing about the live versus PGA thing. I mean, I'm probably in that boat too, where I'm like, this, just stop talking about them coming together because it's not going to happen. And I could give two shits about the guys on live that are saying, bring us back. It's you took the money, you left. Now you got to deal with it. I think it's BS that they get to come back for the Ryder Cup as well, but that's my stand.
I don't think they're really saying for the PGA Tour aspect to come back. I don't think they care about that. They want to be able to play in the Ryder Cup and majors.
Yeah.
So if aren't some of them playing in like DP World Tour events to
Mhm.
get
They were trying
points?
to, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the game of professional golf needs some sort of agreement. Like, there needs to stop being this separate thing.
Yeah.
And
They've
they
had
need
the
to figure that
framework.
out for 3 years.
Too.
And all the schedules are released for next year, so nothing's gonna happen. So now we're going on 3-4 years, depending on who's counting.
Yep.
So we're not
Depending on
gonna
if
see
that
anything
person can count or not.
till at least 2026. And going through another year of this is just gonna be annoying as hell.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's whatever happens, it's not going to be like the next year thing, anyways, right? So we're really looking at 2027.
2027. Yeah. And half the
So-
people on live at that point, like, I mean, Dustin hasn't played well this
Yeah,
year.
they're gonna die of old age. at
They're
that
gonna
point.
age out of like their, time that they
Yeah.
had to play well. So
I gotta imagine like the live players who would be most interested at this point is like Rahm, Cam Smith, Bryson, Brooks, the younger kind of guys, because Phil, I think that relationship with the PGA is just gone anyways. It was gone before he left.
maybe he
and,
leaves and they're just like, you know what, we can make this work
the biggest hiccup right now is this guy
Yeah,
Phil. He's
it's
just
Phil.
we don't like that guy.
with his. I mean, I'm a lefty fan. I've got a hat that's signed by him. I have always like went on lefty's side for things, but geez Louise, his glasses that he wore this weekend and his haircut that he had, disgusting. Like, are you kidding me, man? You didn't
Mhm.
think to wear something else? I don't know. The gold rimmed glasses were like something that our wives wore in 1995.
He looks exactly like somebody you'd think would have a gambling problem would look like.
Valid.
Does he not? Does he not?
Super true. Yep.
I like
Totally.
the stuff I've seen him on YouTube and just like stuff outside now that he's not on the PGA Tour and can have more freedom. I've actually grown to like Phil a little bit more. I don't think he's necessarily having the best golf aspect. Golfing wise, his scoring is not the greatest on live, but I don't think he cares at this point.
Totally.
No.
Ultimately, why would you?
Yeah.
Whereas I think John Rahm still wants to win as many golf tournaments as he possibly can.
Yes.
So does Bryson.
But he also
yeah.
wanted $600,000 or $600 million. So he took $600 million over legacy.
Who wouldn't? You'd be an idiot not to. Hey, anyways, we should probably bring this to a close here. Jess, I think you had an idea. You had an idea to close us out here, picking some players. I guess maybe like who the MVPs or who's gonna have the most points.
So we're gonna go just snake order, and we already wrote it down there. So it's TL2 Cam JL, and then we'll go JL Cam TL2, and everyone, or all three of us, you get 4 players, and at the end of Sunday, we're gonna see who scored the most points. So Cam, let's start us off,
And
buddy.
4 players,
TL2.
and you can't pick somebody who's already been drafted. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
So it's just like fantasy football.
Do we want to give Justin the first pick since he did so poorly in the season long?
No, this is my time, and I got
All
last
right,
place
all right.
in our regular season. So
All right. So I got first pick. I will go. Give me fuck it. Give me Harmon.
With nothing at stake here, Teddy takes risk. Okay.
Big
do this.
underdog
I
guy
love
right
it.
now.
I'm gonna do the smart thing and draft Scotty Scheffler.
Sure, dig your own grave.
Well, I'm gonna take the opposite, and I'm actually going Jason Day.
Interesting. All right, who's your second pick?
Second pick is actually going to be Xander.
I already started typing it before you even
I was gonna
said
say
anything.
actually, like we're surprised.
Yeah.
If I were to end up with Xander and Scotty as my first two pick, like I would have been like, "What are we doing here, guys? Is this a parody? Like, what are we talking about?"
This is a parody.
I'm gonna go second pick. I'm gonna go out on a limb. And we're gonna pick Siwoo Kim.
Oh.
Okay.
I was thinking
Decent.
about him. All right, Teddy.
I'll go. Well, I get two back to back, so give me Corey Connors. Just gonna do CC on our sheet. God, I love my team so far. And give me Cantlay.
All right.
Yeah.
For
That's
my
solid.
for my third pick, I'm gonna go with Sam Burns.
Ooh. Dang it. All right.
I mean, I guess that's fine.
Round out your team, Justin. 2 picks.
2 picks. So I'm going, I think Tom Kim's going to do some damage. I think that'll be fun to watch. And then I'm going to go with another kind of younger. I'm going to throw Sahith in there because I think you can put him with a lot of different players. So I think he's going to actually get some playing time.
Yeah,
I think this is gonna set him up if he plays well here for the Ryder Cup, or if he doesn't qualify, next year to be a captain's pick. So I think he's got a lot riding on this, maybe more so than other players. All right, my last one. So Teddy was picking Sahith, got it, because he was not happy about that pick, Justin.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Hideki.
Really?
Yep.
I like Hideki in this. I think the asterisk is always like, can his back stand up? And
what's the over under on one-handed finishes that finish up actually really good?
Gosh.
How many strokes do we think he takes over the course of the tournament? Minus like 30, and that's how many one-handed finishes we're going to have. All right, to round out my winning team, Jason Day's gone. Tom Kim's gone. Ooh, you know what? Give me Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Sneaky pick.
Yeah.
He's played in the most. This is his 11th President's Cup, which is.
I mean, has he played in all of them but like one?
Yeah, pretty much. So.
I saw a fun fact today about a player in the President's Cup. Scotty Scheffler had more wins in 2024 than the rest of the team combined in their career.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different game.
8 wins.
No, I know. I just thought that was
7
crazy.
wins for the entire team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say Scotty goes like 1-4.
You think he has a bad showing?
I think he has a bad showing.
We'll see.
We'll
find out tomorrow when he boat races whoever they play.
Buddy, he ain't boat racing anybody.
Oh, Scotty and Russell are going to take Sungjae and Tom Kim.
How many units you guys putting on it? What's the bet?
Let's do a friendly 10 unit bet there, Teddy.
10
units. $5? Oh my god.
I was thinking a unit was $1 because why would we make half $1 a unit?
That-
Doesn't
I was
really
kind
add
of
up
wondering
to
where
me.
your math was on that, Teddy. But okay, so you got
50 cents a unit.
on the first match. Scotty versus who was it again?
Although Teddy did pick Scotty and Russell to win this match.
I did.
I don't want to like force him into a
Well,
bet
but
where he-
we figured out for the day. You had 4 matches. I had 3. So
Yeah.
Well, I had 2. So yeah. Well, that'll be a good. We'll just do it like that.
So we're
Got it.
going.
Could
Who's
one
who's
of us could
taking-
win, or it could be a tie.
Sweet. $10 bet right here. Let's see it.
big money, big money.
All right, guys.
And-
Enjoy
All
the
right.
President's Cup. Look forward to chatting with you on a recap, and yeah, hopefully you guys get out some golf. And Teddy, don't
Hey,
fly away.
Justin, remember,
And
there's a hurricane coming.
There is a hurricane. I don't know how many times we have to go over this.
Hurricane Helen Hunt.
Helen
Yes.
Hunt. All right.
All right.
Airy
Hey,
Helen
listeners, make sure you go follow us, like us, subscribe, Pitchmark Collective on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. We'll be back next week with our recap of the President's Cup USA. Let's go. Take it home. Do not lose another one because the international teams only won once, and we want to keep it that way. Teddy, stay safe this weekend. Good luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
Justin, enjoy practice tonight.
Yeah.